What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActiveMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm here to tell you that Wick is pain. If you look up in the dictionary under pain, it says Wick is a synonym of pain. They are the same thing. This is a movie. It does not have audio description, but I'm going to review it anyway because Lionsgate wanted me to. Anyway, what's up? Click like and subscribe. I'm starting up a cult following here of people who like to watch blind film critics do things on YouTube, like review movies. That's what I primarily do here, although I may branch out and start reviewing other things. You never know. But if you click like and subscribe, you'll find out, because you'll be here if I do. So, Wick is Pain is a documentary that followed the production of the John Wick franchise and has presented it to us as sort of a compendium for fans. Who would want to watch this? Fans of John Wick. Let's just be honest. Like, I guess diehard documentarians also who watch nothing but documentaries would be interested in this. I don't know that they'd be as interested in this because it talks about making, a fiction film that they apparently don't watch because they just said they only watch documentaries. But this is a documentary, so this would fall under that for them. So maybe, but yeah, this is made for John Wick fans. It feels like a really long, DVD featurette. How we used to get, bonus features on DVDs that people actually cared about and took time and put their life into. I made the same comment earlier this year about Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl, because it's not really, they didn't even do all the songs. They didn't even bother doing scenes in between or stuff from the Broadway musical. They just kind of had some people come out and sing, and they were sort of like special guests, and then they mostly just talked about the movie and like the production of the movie and that kind of stuff. I was like, well, this is a special feature, man. This isn't like this feels like a long behind the scenes. But what's cool about it, instead of I don't know if you watch the Assembled series that Disney Plus puts out for all their Marvel movies, that sort of goes behind the scenes of those, or they've been doing those first looks also, which end up on Hulu before the movie comes out, that do that. HBO was doing that for a long time. HBO First Look. Generally, those are always really like positive, and they're like hype machines. They generate nothing but love for a film. They never dive into like oh, this was difficult. Oh, we had a hard time. We fought that day. Like they don't get into the gritty stuff. So what Wick is Pain does, one of the reasons why I respect it a little bit more than some of the other fluff that we get thrown, is because it does actually address some of the conflicts and some of the problems and some of the issues, which is life. Like, that's life. Some of that other stuff, I don't even bother giving it the time of day because I know it's just there to be like, hey, aren't we amazing? Look at how amazing we are. Did you feel that this was as amazing as we felt how amazing it was? That's not what Wick is Pain does. Wick is Pain goes, this was really hard to do. We hope you like what we did. Please. Our blood, sweat, and tears went into this. But I lost my best friend. Essentially Chad Stahelski and David Leitch are best friends, and they co-directed the first John Wick together. And it shows the fact that it puts a strain on their friendship. They're having a hard time together. They're not exactly, we have some duos that work really well together. I don't know that this is a duo that works really well together. So, which is why they don't co-direct the entire franchise together. Keanu seems really stoked to be here all the time. So every time he comes into the film, he always talks about, yeah, it's hard, but I'm really happy to be here. I think it's really cool. I really like doing this kind of stuff. So cool. Uh, you learn a lot about, it's mostly John Wick 1. It's mostly about, like, getting the project together to begin with, running a little short on production costs and how they solve that problem. They talk about getting, because it didn't originate at a studio coming out of the machine where it got greenlit and the studio was funding it. It was funded and then the studio picked it up for distribution rights. So they had to fund it so that they would get a studio, and they had to get the distribution rights. And it sort of goes into the conversation about distribution rights for a studio, even into like the minutia of like, should he have a beard or not? You know, it really, it is interesting. It's a little long compared to, and I think it's the only reason why I felt like it was a little long is because, um, it front loads a lot with John Wick 1 and then peters out the rest of the franchise. So, what I would compare it to is last year I also reviewed the Doc of Chucky, which is 4 hours. I'm just kidding. But it seems to balance the films a little bit better, so that way you're moving through and you're spending time in each film a little bit more so. I mean, obviously it introduces a little bit more at the beginning, sure, but then once it gets around to the other films, it has spaced out the time. Now, there are way more Child's Play movies than there are John Wick movies, so of course it's going to be 4 hours. So, duh. um, and so this is about 2 hours though, so there's no reason why this couldn't have been also paced at about the same, even ratio that the other film felt like it was. That's also for the fans. Doc of Chucky, obviously for the fans. So you go behind the scenes, you get to watch some of the stunts get done. Well, I'm blind, I don't, but I get to hear people talk about them. That's what I got out of it. And so that's sort of the thing is, it's not as engaging for me without audio description, listening to stunts happen, and not fully having the context. But I did find the commentary engaging from the people involved in making the films, the directors, the stuntmen, Keanu, anybody who came in and gave the cameraman 5 minutes of their time. Because these were not hot takes that were set up to be like, watch John Wick, it's the most amazing thing that we've ever produced in our life. We've been touched by God, and you will be too if you watch this film. It felt more like realistic, like, man, this was a day, man. We had a day. I hated that choice. Oh God, I almost killed myself doing that stunt. It feels more like bitching and bickering, which is more like what would actually happen on the set. And normally we don't get that. Normally we get the opposite of it. And it does take like another director to come in with a clear set of eyes, I guess you could say. I hate using ableist terms, but I can't think of anything else in that moment. To be able to lay out and figure out what an audience actually wants to see instead of just promotional material. Because this director is interested in being able to say, well, I directed that Wick is Pain documentary. Didn't you like it? He doesn't want to say, I directed a special feature on a DVD. Cool, bro. Good for you. Hey, Mom, I directed this thing. It's on the new John Wick 4K. It's really cool. It's a behind the scenes documentary. I did that. That's what I did. I mean, somebody does it, but we don't know who. So, yeah. Should you watch this if you're a huge fan of John Wick? Sure. If you're blind, you just gonna have to make that choice for yourself. Because like, if you really want to know the behind the scenes stuff, this is really the only film that I've seen that goes into behind the scenes of John Wick. And since the whole franchise has audio description, including Ballerina, you can watch all the films. But if you wanted to go behind the scenes of any of them, you're going to probably lose. But that's kind of true of the DVDs and the special features anyway. Those things usually, if you buy physical media, don't have audio description anyway. So if you're trying to click on the special features, even if you can navigate through the menus, if you're doing any of those behind the scenes featurettes, those don't have audio description. Typically, if you want to hear the director's commentary track, it knocks out the audio description track, so you can't have both. It won't play both the audio description and the director's commentary. So if you're a film nerd enough, you've already had to make that sort of choice for yourself as to, do I want to hear the director's commentary? It's going to make the film, but I've already seen the film before, but I really want to hear the director's commentary on the film. Or do I want to watch this behind the scenes making of thing, you know, and then you judge based on how much talking there is. There's a fair amount of talking here. It's about half and half. They have a lot to show because they want to show you the stunts and how they set them up, and the set and how they built the set, and the thought process and everything that went into the craft of Wick. But there's quite a bit of talking in it. So I don't know that I feel 100% comfortable grading it, because it floats somewhere into the mid. I'm mid on this. I'm not like high. This isn't like Wick is Pain. A+. I needed more balance. If that was my critical reception would be, I needed more balance. I needed to know more about 2, 3, and 4 almost as equally as I wanted to 1, mainly because 1 is interesting. They made it on like a shoestring budget, but then 2, 3, and 4, they got to expand and they did more things. Like 4 was, I think 4 had a huge budget. So I want to say it was like close to 200 million, but I don't know if that's true. I can't remember exactly. So they were able to do bigger things and have bigger stunts, and of course other actors come in and out of the franchise, and you know, they lost Lance Reddick, and you know, I mean, like, lots of things happened throughout the course of the 4 films. So it would have been, this is not a setup for Ballerina, by the way. This is not like by the way, we also have a Ballerina's coming out. Check this out. So no, I don't think Ballerina's mentioned. So Wick is Pain. Yeah, no grade due to lack of audio description is my official grade. And as far as whether or not you should watch it, I really think it depends. Like, you know whether or not you want to watch it already. You're just looking for like validation on, is this crap? And I think the more you like the franchise, the more you'll get out of it. Even if you're blind, I think that's true. Even without the lack of audio description. If you're a super fan of John Wick and you watch that film with audio description all the time, and you've been waiting for some behind the scenes documentary like this, then you're going to find a way to watch this regardless. Or not, you know? I mean, like, you just have to make that choice. So there you go. Wick is Pain. Learn about gun fu and all that kind of stuff. It was interesting to see Chad mention having worked on The Crow also, and having to step in for Brandon Lee. I didn't realize that he had been friends with Brandon when that stunt did not go well in The Crow. It must, and that has to like affect you as a stunt performer from that point on, as you get older and you just grow into becoming like a coordinator and making sure everything is safe. It's like you were there, like you were present for something that went awry, and you want to make sure that never happens again. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing and joining my cult, and I will see you guys on the other side.